I said we don't need no jazz. We don't want no jazz. I said we don't need no jazz. No probing, sticking, poking us. 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 Freedom! Give me a second, let's take a sip. Just see the next track. Is there any revolutionaries out here? Make it more clearer. Is there any rebels out here? Is there anybody ready to fight? Is there anybody that's ready to stand up what's right? Yo, decent, we start with the nation. Let's get decent, we have social reason. It's more than a reason, I see with precision. Protecting the life so that you can season. We stay connected, Christ resurrected. The gap that they're giving you have to inspect it. Healing the nation, whole population. Only survivors against operation. Lost information, research, education. The mark of the beast won't pass our generation. You will be hated, carried and slated. Never allow them to get you deflated. The gospel of stated, the word revelated. Up on the cross, Jesus Christ has obeyed it. Open your eyes and start following like sheep. Man, I don't want you to die in your sleep. This ain't the norm, we weather the storm. The teachers they will see you with, it's like war. The truth is so hard to digest, it's like gold. You lose your identity, take all your board. The time is at hand, get ready to stand. We'll fight to destroy everything they have planned. Breaking our backs, playing us like sacks. But still they can't stop us from moving it back. We live right. This is for my highway people. The forward thinking minds that look like not evil. Trust. The people that don't play games. Take the mask off before they go free play. Just trust. Like the hydrant that come out your hand and grows back. There's a war going on outside. We say facts. Government that is foreign our names. Label us anti-vaxxers, we feel the effects. Now it's subjects of discrimination, but still it's pedophiles that are running the nation. Global reset to a world domination. That ain't your first talk about the abomination. We in the heart, we stand to duration. And only you do like law and frustration. Don't hesitate, I still wait like us. No matter if it's they keep telling the quiet. As soon as it goes, all of y'all be paid a price. Put you down and go to the mice. And show you man full of greed through a part of the slice. Take the hand and you take and lead it. People show up in a gang like Michael and Pete. I know we won't be defeated. We don't consent to your life, legislation, don't read it. I'm tired of these fuckers like Afghan space. And if I wasn't born in there, it's the Afghan space. Lord, I'm calling for your grace. So come down from your throne and say the human race. This is for my highway people. The 450 miles out of God, not evil. Trust. The people that don't play games. Take the mask off before the world we play. Just trust. This is for my highway people. The 450 minds that know God not evil. Just trust. The people that don't play games. Take the mask off before the world we play. Just trust. Yes. Yes, Glasgow. You see me? you know that J.O.K. is gonna hold it down on every beat, on every track. Just give me the mic and I will roll it back. If you see me, then you know that J.O.K. is gonna hold it down on every beat, on every track. Gonna murder the mic again. I'm not your average rapper, I bring truth. The bars have to leave a package up direct to the youth. My rhymes may be different, but the message is real. Cut through your heart, penetrate where you feel. That's right, the reason that I'm walking this path. It ain't about the money, I'm just here to serve the first and the last. With passion and conviction, breaking addiction. I'm going with every line, no word of fiction. I'm not here to impress you, the God bless you. My flow might be rough and it's here to test you. It's my mission to get you focused on the vision. Acts 238, make the right decision. I'm not a gangster, but I ride for the king. I'm wearing the brand of life, I survive on the thing. My lyrics bring light to the darkness and expose every fact of the struggle regardless. The word is a weapon and a force to be reckoned. If I compare it to game and it will probably be protected. But I ain't here to fight you, let's invite you. I spread the love of Jesus and incite you. But still, the day of judgment is coming, and I'm hoping that you make it by the end of the run. It's not how fast you go, but if you finish the race, you may limp across the line while you're moving at pace. Let me make it clear and keep it sincere. I spread the gospel without fear. I'm an architect when it comes to the brain. Crafting verses off in the chain. And when I say I'm gonna never take back. Cancel me, I don't agree with your crap. That's your agenda, and maybe your prerogative. You ain't Roman Reigns, and I definitely don't acknowledge it. Take off your mic if you dare to follow it. My flow is tramadolphy that you can swallow it. I'm not here to condemn you, but guide you so he can find you. Tell that devil to get me behind you. My rhymes are designed to take you to another level. J.O.K., an old-time rebel, and I continue just expressing the truth on every beat that I'm rapping inside of the booth. If you see me, then you know that J.O.K. is gonna hold it down on every beat, on every track. Just give me the mic and I'm gonna roll it back. If you see me, then you know that J.O.K. is gonna hold it down on every beat, on every track. Gonna murder the mic again. If you see me, then you know that J.O.K. is gonna hold it down on every beat, on every track. Just give me the mic and I'm gonna roll it back. If you see me, then you know that J.O.K. is gonna hold it down on every beat, on every track. Gonna murder the mic again. Yes, people. My last track of the night. My last track. Next track, yeah. Yes, yes. Yes, people. Yes. It's the last track now. This is expressing exactly how everybody's feeling. Yeah, as I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. No, thou art with me. Yo, I'm still here standing for the truth, hoping that my words will strike like lightning. I have to stay focused, this world's looking hopeless. They got us in a stranglehold, they're trying to choke us. More than 3 years we've been dealing with this, to the point that leave us broken and mental and since we have taken everything that they see. We allowed it to happen every time we were bending the knee. Now they're raising all the prices, treating us like terrorists. We ain't ISIS. I'm watching the TV prepared for the next crisis. What play they make us better and like this, stripping us down to an element. Even go as far as insulting our intentions. No matter what they do, we got to stay relevant. I see them there hiding all the evidence, and surely the truth is revealing. And he will set us free from the things that is stealing. My people crying out for a healing. We're praying, Lord Jesus, return on the feet so that one day we can all bask in the Sunday. With all the kids running round on the fun day, it's a long time coming. The future's what we make it. No matter everything that they do to try and break it, we're still standing side by side, hand in hand. I'm weathering the storm, umbrella, we're still planning to free the nation. Wake up the congregation and stand on the solid rock and foundation. Creation, a beautiful start with a head to end. A perfectly straight line ends in a twisted bend. I credit that life to one of my oldest friends that still holds true today. No matter what they say, we're rolling like Kid and Play. Like Jay-Z, yo, what more can I say? To your game, the veracity, saying I'm increasing the velocity. Like Aristotle, I speak with philosophy, trying to rewrite every rhyme of atrocity. I know I gotta do more, we're fighting for the poor and afflicted. The bodies on the corner addicted, the things that they're doing are scripted for their agenda. But while we're here, no retreat, no surrender. We're preparing for the war, like Corey said, Babylon's going before. Stop anti-general, what's signing history? We leave your legacy, ancient jealous. All the thoughts are empty, and I'm a red crap as long as I'm still breathing. But y'all standing still like babies are starting. Regurgitating up every second, y'all ain't learning your lesson. How many more heart attacks will it take to your people bright riding away? No more dreaming, sticking every job in your arm like you're feeding. Stuck between the rock and the hard place, a bad decision. Criminal acts increasing the tax, and I'm here just inspiring the facts of my people, preparing for the things that are come that are evil. Before the time is at hand, fuck the good fight, reclaim the land. No one's taking the things that they're doing. It's been years, but we remain doing. Stay vigilant, see the evil. I sharpen the iron of my people. These truths, y'all, we gotta defend, even if it means I end. Yes, Glasgow. Yes, Glasgow. Yes, Glasgow. All the tracks are available. Just look on Unsigned FM. All the tracks are on there. It says we're not basically catering for this public domain no more. We're going independence. We're fighting for our rights. We're standing up for our rights. As long as I'm here, I'm going to be standing for Jesus. And I'm praying for all the people out here. Amen.
Thank you, Jago. Jago K. Guys, we can't do anything about the weather. I just want to thank you all for bearing with it, and hopefully it's going to clear up. So, I'm going to get the next speaker on. He's from the tribe of Leicestershire, and he's coming all the way from there to speak today. Can you kindly welcome Mick the Ticket, please, guys?
Thank you, David. Hello, Glasgow! Hey, great showing out today. We need some global warming today. We've definitely got climates. Global boiling's coming next, apparently. I don't know. But anyway, I've just got to say, I'm Mick the Ticket, activist many years. I go back to a book in the 1980s called Our Common Future. I bought that, my inner voice told me I've got to buy that book. I don't know, I haven't an inner voice, I swear to God, I bought it. It led directly to something called United Nations Agenda 21. Boom! And we do not want that. That means the literal enslavement of every man, woman and child. And I remember it being signed in 1992 when I was a DJ all over Europe in them days. I thought, oh my God, these people are serious. I read that book. It was by Gro Harlem Brundtland. She was the former Prime Minister of Norway and she worked for the United Nations. And she wrote that. That was a massive inspiration, of course, the Club of Rome, going back before that, for where we're being led right now, which is basically a worldwide dictatorship. And that's where we're being led, there's no doubt about it. I just want to say, empires were once ruled by emperors. Kingdoms, once upon a time, were ruled by kings. And now we live in a world where countries are lived by. Anyway, change the subject. Yeah, we know what we're led by. Absolute criminals. I just want to say there's a hero here today. Mark Sexton. Great man, former police officer of Birmingham, is here today, leading the way, and we demand, we demand the Metropolitan Police do their job. Reopen the crime number, reopen it, we have all the evidence, and you must contact the eyewitnesses, the whistleblowers, you must, once you've given a crime number, that is the law I believe, you have to contact these people. But they haven't. They just closed it. They can't do that. They're breaking the law. We will win this in the end. Am I right? I know I'm bloody right. By the way, I've got a certain accent, right? I've come from the Midlands today, but I was originally from London and I've never lost the accent. I never picked up the Midlands accent, whatever. But I want to make sure you understand me. When I make a statement that you agree with, that you really agree with, and I say, am I right? I want you to say this. You're not wrong, Mick. Can we practice it? Am I right? You're not wrong, Mick. I know I didn't get that. You're Scottish. Sorry, mate. A lot of you are. Yeah. Do it a bit slower for me. Hang on. I'll give you a good example. Here's a good example. You know Laura Tobin, the weather woman? Yeah, in the morning on ITV. She said the other week, well, I want to see, do what I said. She said it's been the hottest day, she said it last week, 2 weeks ago, in 125,000 years since the Neanderthal old man walked the earth, and I thought she was wrong, because if she could say that, I can say, when Boris Johnson was in hospital, right, yeah, supposedly with so-called COVID, and then weeks later he was partying in Downing Street, the same week my father died, when I couldn't get in the bleeding hospital, right? The same bloody week, I got it just a couple of days before he died. The flu disappeared in 2020, right? The flu disappeared and COVID appeared. That's about as believable as saying this. The last time the flu disappeared was 125,000 years ago. How do they know? How can they prove it? Am I right? I'm not wrong, Mick. Oh, yeah, I'm completely not wrong, you know what I mean? But anyway, thanks for reaffirming that. I can understand you now, all right? Well, I'm going to cut the beers after this probably. I like doing that, you know. That's the Irish in me, you know what I mean? Irish, well, listen, we stand together. I have a saying. English, Irish, Scotch and Welsh, black and white unite, all right? We're together in this fight, and we don't want any more divide and conquer BS. They've given us all our lives, Let me tell you, I'm just doing this now, right? Something I thought of like yesterday, right? When I was a little kid, I was at my auntie's in London, Irish lady Sally, in the back garden. On one side of the garden was all these black ants. Now what I'm going to say might sound a bit cruel. I'm not a cool person, I am a nice person. But I was a kid, whatever, in the 70s. But I've done a little experiment. On the other side of the garden was thousands of red ants, which you don't see anymore, but you used to, you know what I mean? The red ants, the black ants. And I thought, I know what I'm going to do. I fill up saucepans with warm, alright, bloody hot water, alright, yeah? And I walked into the garden, and I thought, I want them to meet. I want them to see what happens, like, so I was pouring the hot water on one side, the other side with the red ants. And I got to meet in the middle of the garden. There were thousands, it was unbelievable, it was a weird experience. I never forgot it. And I knew there was something important about it. I look for signs, I do. They ended up having this war, this biggest battle of all time, and I just sat back and watched. I thought, amazing, they didn't know who I was, I made them go to war. I think that's what the powers that shouldn't be do to you and me. They divide and conquer us and control us. That's what they do, it never left me. And then the reason I'm saying it now is because 2 nights ago, there was like this swarm of bloody ants, fly ants, red ants and black ants, where I stayed. And it was like, wow, it reminded me of what I have to talk about that. Divide and conquer. I'm going to jump back in time a little bit. I was talking about the peanut when it was signed September 2000, 1 year before 9/11, 1 year. And they wrote down, some people know about the PNAT, the Project for the 11th Century, signed by dual nationals, America and one other country. I ain't going to say you can work it out, right, yeah? Signed. We need a new Pearl Harbor and named all the countries to go into. Okay, I thought, pay attention to that. And I used to go down Speaker's Corner every Sunday. I was living 15 minutes at a time down the road, 20 minutes down the road from there. I didn't speak them days, I listened. You know, great, but I'd speak privately, but I wasn't standing in public. And then 12 months later, the new Pearl Harbor happened. 9/11. 9/11. George W. Bush, this is our new 9/11. Now we're in a situation now, and obviously we've seen invite. I hate no people, but I understand that the games they play. Most people don't understand that we're playing from above, powers that we can't see, powers that shouldn't be. And we think the Prime Ministers, the Presidents will throw stones at them, and it makes a bloody difference. No, it don't. All of you people will understand this, I understand that. You will understand this. But the powers that shouldn't be pulled the biggest stroke, obviously, since 9/11, on March 2020, when Boris Johnson announced we need to flatten the curve. At that time, because I knew they have to do something to bring in United Nations Agenda 21. I thought, oh my God, problem, reaction, solution. This will be the excuse to do what they're going to do. Problem, reaction, solution. At the time, flatten the curve, 3 weeks to flatten the curve. I thought, flatten the government. Flatten the, am I right? I mean, look, am I right? You're not wrong, man. I'll do it one more time. Am I right? I'm not wrong. And when I say flatten the government, we can still have government, but we need to replace these people. Am I right? I'm not wrong, mate. I know I'm bloody not wrong. I'm bloody right. I know I am. I've lived this. I truly have. I knew this day was coming. I knew this. I used to be on the streets dressed as Superman. Honestly, there's this thing called chalkboard Mickey. I'd be on the streets years ago with things like forcible injections. They're planning it. Chalkboard Mickey, Ken Chalk Mickey, Mick the Ticket, they're spraying the skies, they're spraying us like bugs, and people looking at me like, oh, they thought I was mad. But I used to think, I'm dressed like this, they think I'm mad. One day they'll realise I told the truth. Was I right? I don't think I'm bloody wrong, and I'm telling the truth. Now I just want to say, the powers that shouldn't be, they're terrified of you and me. They realise people are waking up. They realise many men in uniform understand, but they can't say anything because they've got to keep their job. But their families have been attacked as well with the poison. I don't call it the V word, the state injectable. The biggest mistake we made at the beginning of the madness was using the V word. Am I right? I know I'm not wrong because it was never the V word. It was a state injectable, gene therapy to be used against you and me. Poison. Depopulation plan, they don't hide it, they're open about it. And obviously we speak out, we stand up. But you know what? When they call the next lockdowns, as Damon said in Birmingham a few weeks ago, they're promised with the World Health Organization, which is supposed to be an advisory body. Who voted for the World Health Organization? Did you? Who voted for the United Nations? Did you? Who voted for Billy Boy Gates? Did you? Well, they're planning more lockdowns. As you walk by thinking about, I'll go to McDonald's, I'm walking by, I'll go there with Burger King. Listen up, standing still and listen. They're planning more lockdowns. And if that pandemic treaty gets passed by the traitors in Westminster, World Economic Forum, Minster, traitors, in every nation all over the world, by the way, they've penetrated all the governments. Klaus Schwab, the James Bond villain, the real-life one. If they get away with passing that, they will be overriding our governments. They'll be overriding our police and military if they don't do as they're told by the WHO. The WHO! Did you vote for the WHO? Am I right? I'm not wrong, man. Yeah, he said no. Shut up. I'm telling the bloody truth. So we need to wake our relatives up. We need to wake our friends up. We need to have a go at them when they stand in the pub talking about bloody football. What's that about? Many years ago, after 7/7, I speak to people about Peter Power. We were doing drills at the same 3 stations in London that got blown up. I've done it for years and I've showed the videos for years. Oh, all right, mate, yeah, all right, yeah, change the subject. Talk about football. You know what it is with men? They're not like they used to be. They want to pretend things aren't happening, so they don't have to do anything about it. Am I right? I know I'm bloody right. Sorry, I'm not even looking at that stuff I wrote down, I'm just talking, that's what I do. I know I'm bloody right. And we need justice. A great hero, a friend of mine. Trust him, I like him big time, you know who he is. The bravest funeral director in the world, John O'Looney. Round of applause for John. John O'Looney. He's been getting intelligence from British military and intelligence people. The people landing on the beaches, many of them have been trained in Anatolia, Western Anatolia, Turkey. There is a plan. If they plan more lockdowns, which they will do if the WHO pandemic treaty is passed, when they lock down zones, it won't be like before, it will not be like before. When they lock down, I live in zone 1 and lock down zone 2. Oh, you live in zone 3, we're all right. I'm all right, chap. What's that all about? They'll be locking down the zones. There is a depopulation agenda. Forcible injections will happen. And obviously, the people who are born on these islands, and I hate no one, my stepson's mixed race, I don't care what colour you are, religion you are, if we're living on these islands, we stand together. As I say, English, Irish, Scots and Welsh, black and white, unite. Am I right? People landing on the beaches, and they're fighting. 10-6 an invasion. Yes, it was. So why isn't it now? We need to stop being cowards and speak the truth. You will not tell me what to say. We will speak just like Jasmine will say what she said. What a great young lady, a hero. We will sort. Listen, the point is, when they call the lockdowns, who will be policing these lockdowns in the 15 minutes? Men who have no allegiance, right? Military age men, checkpoint Charlie, 15 city zones. Who do you bloody think it's going to be? The government is guilty of treason. And there is a certain sentence for that, and I'll say it. You know what it is. Am I right? I'm not bloody wrong. Westminster, there's 650 politicians. Mr. Christopher Cho. But Andrew Bridgen, a round of applause, please. Andrew Bridgen, we stand by you. We stand by you. A brave man. A brave man. As I say, we've got to stand together. I'm surrounded by awake people, but our job is to wake other people up. The people who still want to walk around sleeping, and well, you'll cease to exist if you do not resist. I'll make that ticket. Thank you very much. Over and out. Cheers, Dave. Thank you, everyone.
Cheers, mate. Our next race. Yeah. Inspiration, come on, mate. That's what we all need, isn't it? A little bit of inspiration right now.
For 3.5 years now, we've been traumatised, terrorised by these fucking criminals masquerading as a government. We've all been through the trauma. Everybody knows someone who's been affected. Everybody knows what we've been through. Now, my purpose here today is to bring unity, to unify every single person here. I ask you, do you trust the current political establishment? No. Then what are you going to do about it? Come on! Do you trust Cons are useless? Do you trust the Conservatives? Do you trust the SNP? But what I'm here to speak about as well, I've stood shoulder to shoulder with every one of you for 3.5 years, fighting against this evil, fighting against this corruption. But there comes a point in time when we have to go organised. We must put that strength in numbers, put the unity, the collective consciousness to good use. We have came together and formed the New Scotland Party, not to get a deal with your political system, but to tear down your fucking system. This city, this world has been absolutely annihilated and divided. And it's time once and for all for every man, woman and child, put your division aside, come together and unify with us. Our freedom will not fall from that fucking sky. We must go out and take it. And how do we do such a thing? By getting in that political system and destroying it. We can keep protesting, we can keep getting angry, or we can get fucking organised and do something about it. I'm just going to keep this brief, because the people here, you know what time it is, you know what's going on. But I will ask again from the bottom of my heart and my soul, when I leave this stage today, ask yourself the question, what are you going to do about it? And then get organised. Join the New Scotland Party. Trust the people. I am you. You are me. We are all in this together. We are uncorruptible, and I'll take a bullet in the fucking head before I take that needle. Now the next man is about to come up and speak. I've always said I've never been in this movement to make friends. You inadvertently make friendships for life. This next man who's going to come down and speak has been through fucking hell and back because of that poisonous injection. Now I always say to people, are we going to let them get away with it? It will never win, exactly. Last point I want to say to every person here. We are you are us. We are humanity, and we're all souls inhabiting this physical body. Get your conscience to a level, rise up, and represent the people. Thank you people, come on.
Okay guys, thank you, Inspiration. Without further ado, I'm going to bring on somebody who was vaccine injured by the safe and effective jab that stopped transmission. So I'd like to introduce you, give a massive warm welcome to John Watt. John, come and bring the noise, pal. Who's happening, Glasgow? Can you hear me? I said, what's happening, Glasgow? Can you hear me? I took that vaccine, £40,000 in our pocket, and nearly died from it. If you don't know my name, or Alex Mitchell, he lost the leg to AstraZeneca. Prove it for the government. Do me a favour, Glasgow, let's bring a noise, can you, brother? Let's go! So for anyone that's in the street that doesn't know my story, I was in a documentary called Safe and Effective, a Second Opinion, viewed by 5 million people globally. The government told us it's your civic duty to take the vaccine. And as soon as it went wrong, what happened? They turned their back on me, Alex Mitchell, and the $300 we've got for Scottish Vaccine Intergroup. How many people on the street take that vaccine? How many people feel they were lied to? How many took it and go travelling? We were all told to do the right thing. And I was left in my bed to rot. As soon as I spoke out against it, I was shut down on every social media platform. In Glasgow we all know who James English is that correct?
James English podcast, me and Alex were on it. James English has interviewed people like Andrew Tate, David Icke, Matt Letitia. The one and only podcast that man could not put on YouTube was mine and Alex Mitchell's. Why? Why? So, you take the vaccine and you've been left to rot, and that is fact. You don't believe me? That man there, the first living man to receive £120,000 from the government, proving AstraZeneca ruined that man's life. Does anybody know his story? No, you don't. You know, 6 months ago, Damon contacted me and I had to come down here in a wheelchair. True or false, Damon? I came down here in a bloody wheelchair for that Pfizer booster vaccine. My family had to care for me, they had to look after me. You know, I've been saying it, see everybody that's standing, see the people that walk past, see people that are standing in the street right now. Do you understand why they're standing in the street? Because there's a fucking avalanche of shit coming. This world has gone fucking crazy right now. If you can't see it, open your bloody eyes, Scotland, especially Glasgow. What happens as a country? What happens as a city? I'm actually appalled at the numbers, because the numbers should be bigger. My good friend earlier on, Robert, he spoke about a political party. He's 100% correct. We are not, the people that run this country are not leaders. We're not under leadership. We're under dictatorship. I say, did anyone vote for what's happening in the school education system right now? Did anyone vote for that? When your child is voted, your child is educated on? The law of emissions on. Did anyone vote for that in Scotland? No, they bloody didn't. But you know why? Nobody cares. Because it affects the minority and not the majority. Just like the vaccine did. It affected the minority and not the majority. Well, that's what they tell you. That vaccine affected a lot more people than you've all been led to be. You've all been told. What I say is, bring the noise. It's not just for the vaccine injured, it's for the whole shit show that is going on right now around the world. And it's time for everybody to bring the noise. What I say, are we going to continue? Are we going to sit there and be locked up in our houses again? Are we going to be forced to take a vaccine again? No. And it needs to be that people can stand up and stand together. And that is the most important thing, standing together. In the last 3 years I've done nothing but try to divide everybody. Families try to ruin them. Vaccinated, unvaccinated, black, white, Catholic, Protestant. Let me tell you right here, right now, this is about united people. And let me tell you right here, right now, there's one of the biggest divisions in football in Scotland right now. The biggest division in Scotland right now is between Rangers and Celtic. Put that out the window. Put it all aside. This is about humanity and about children and about the future for us all. You've got myself here, a good Celtic man. You've got yourself, my man here, Robert. It's time for everybody to put aside, and it's time for everybody to unite. Doesn't matter your religion, doesn't matter your football team, doesn't matter anything. People need to realise that this government does not have anyone's interest at heart. The people standing here do. So it's time for us all to stand and unite together. This is what we need. We need to unite together. Every single person, globally, not just in Scotland. It's not about Catholic and Protestant. It's not about good news and Republican. It's about humanity. Put all division aside.
No Glasgow. Tell you what, tell everybody, but most importantly, bring the noise.
Anyway, stand together, people! Represent the church!
Thank you, inspiration. Thank you, John Watt. I know it's a long day, so we planned this to run until 6 o'clock. We're going to be going on a march soon. We've got a little bit more live music coming up now, and then we've got another speaker, and then we are going to be going on a march. Hope you can, bear with us, because the march is going to have a theme. It's going to be quite cool. So yeah, we really appreciate you coming out and supporting and bearing with us the rain and the weather and everything else. So without further ado, I'm going to move on, and I'll introduce you to Eric, aka Metamore. Thank you, Eric.
Go on, Eric!
Sorry, Eric.
How we doing, Glasgow? I know I'm from England, but you could do better than that. How are we doing, Glasgow? Yeah? Well, listen, my name's Eric Metamore, I'm from the Midlands. And I've been on my own journey like most of you guys have for like 47 years. And I've seen this bullshit from when I was about 6, when we had famines in Africa and this and that. And as a child, I always used to say to my grandparents, why are people starving? Why have we got their money? Why have we got European food mountains? Why can't we just print more money through the eyes of a naive child? Well, you don't know what the economy is like. We can't do this, we can't do that. So I noticed all these different things, these idiosyncrasies, these lies, this bullshit. And as I grew, I asked questions. I asked a lot of questions. So when I got to school, I was labelled as a rebel. But then I studied and I researched and I found out more, and then I started to look at spiritual matters and different things and Gnosticism and all these different things. And I realised most of this bullshit, none of it makes sense. So I started to write, I started to train, I started to learn, I started to teach, I started to reach. And my message is the same as everyone's, but it's kind of slightly different. I understand that we're all coming together as one. But at the end of the day, as it said in the Matrix, you're the one. You're the one, you're the one, you're the one. So that's what a lot of my music is. I'm teaching through the music, but also I'm trying to look in the hearts and the souls and the minds of the men and the women. Scots, Irish, Welsh, white, as everybody said, it don't really matter. Because at the end of the day, our shit stinks and we all bleed red, don't we? Yeah? So I'm just going to give you 3 or 4 songs today, and hopefully the rain will stay off so I can keep my lovely guitar nice and dry. So, I might even ditch the guitar so I can just make it a little bit more personal. But listen. Listen, I said we're living in toxic times with pollution of young minds and incessant knife crimes on the rise. Social media and video games distorting blurring lines. A sign of the times, increasing genocide wire. Government lies and disrespects you, causing a plethora of mass hysteria. You got a police force that don't protect you, big pharma injecting you so they can infect you. It's a overemphasis of diagnosis with no prognosis. My hypothesis, there'll be no more genesis, just rigor mortis, the bodies and synapses. Time to rid the fear and flush like dialysis. To overcome this, I'm talking more for genesis. A metamorphosis shall out photosynthesis. To end the crisis, I'm bringing love like ISIS. I'm dividing darkness and channeling a Cyrus soul. We move on. We move on. Okay. So, is it sounding alright? You can hear the guitar up me clearly. But does what needs to go up? Me up, guitar up, what? Guitar. Better? Aye? Okay. I'm telling tales, it's a fable of the brave. To rise above and not live as a slave. And surveillance from cradle to grave. And take back all the rights that we done. Wait, did you turn and run away? Thought that you could lick your wounds, come back and fight another day. But you know things will never be the same as you cast your mind back down memory lane. It's a shame that you still feel the pain today. Wishing what it'd be like if things turned another way. Thoughts rewind and relay. Dreaming at times when skies weren't so gray. Though we find it so hard to explain why we make these sacrifices like Abel and Cain, as we try to navigate on this terrain and do our best to restore a world more humane. You see, try to find a time that I could press rewind. Won't clear this madness in my mind. Stuck in this prison system of mankind, I see knowledge yourself to my inside. Don't be now implode, explode, or overload. Back the trigger in my mind, fire and reload. Spraying bullets in my wisdom so you get to know. You feel the balance in your mind, body, and soul. Stitch is giving me feedback. Listen, it's time to stop living lies and look the beast in the eye. Because I want it on my terms when I die. I don't believe pathetic rhetoric or all the politics from global warming or stories of our origins. Hidden in plain sight so eyes don't see. Magic tricks in front of you loaded with deceit. But we drunk on material, we swallow it down neat. Walking dead so we don't feel the heat beneath the feet. But there's only one way out of this wilderness. To escape the clutches of those that are carnivorous. Draining energy from us, it's so ridiculous that we don't really notice that they're harvesting us. So let me paint a picture in your mind like tissue. My words are grid censored like prohibition, but worth more than the price of admission. This is meant to telling you to channel your inner wisdom with conviction. Try to time that I can press rewind. Help get this madness in my mind. I see this prison system of mankind. I see knowledge itself to bind inside. So me now implode, explode, or overload. Cock the trigger in my mind, fire then reload. Spraying bullets of my wisdom so you get to know. Feel the balance in your mind, body, and soul. In your body 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 and soul. Thank you. George, get a bit of feedback. Okay, yeah, because see, here's the thing. We've all got this 5 sense mind, touch, taste, hear, feel, smell, everything you can see, but we've all got these higher senses. And it was kind of the higher senses that made us sniff out a lot of this bullshit. But unfortunately, we got a left brain and a right brain. Left brain ego, masculine energy, will, force, patriarchy. But we've also got a right brain, that's the sacred feminine energy. That's the instinct, that's the intuition, that's the knowing, that's the love, that's the connection. But unfortunately, too many of them are just living by the ego. So when you bring the two together, your left and your right brain, and you use your heart, that's intelligence. This isn't no intellect you go to a university and get a degree for. Because how many degrees are in a circle? How many degrees are in a circle? How many? 360, that's right. When I go to a university, what do I get? I get 1 degree. That's 359 that are missing, yeah? And that's what we want us to plug into, all of this bullshit. I'm asking you guys to trust your higher senses. You know when someone throws something at you and you catch it automatically, or something comes into your eye and you blink. Naturally, we got all these instincts that are happening all the time. Your body heals. You don't cut yourself and you think heal. All of this shit's happening automatically. That's why we meditate. That's why we trust our higher selves. That's why we connect. That's why we listen to the God and the Goddess that's inside every single one of us. You understand? Because you don't need to go to the ashram, the temple, the church, the synagogue. Because you're the church. The wisdom lies inside each and every one of us. And when we understand, understand and understand that, that's when shit really starts to change. Because you cannot be governed. Because some of you might already know what the word government means. It comes from Latin, which I studied as a kid. I didn't know why, but now it's becoming more, understandable. It comes from the Latin word gubernare. And it comes from the word mentis. Now the word gubernare means control. The word mentis means mind. So government literally means mind control, right? Madness. So this actually falls nicely into this next song, which is called Mind Control. Hopefully, guitar's playing the game. Let's see if I can remember the words. Alright. Listen, the first rule of mind control, that's distraction. Misdirection like tricks from a magician. Acquiescing our blessing. We're stressing, convalescing. The saga continues like the story never ended. This is Gnosticism. And what's required here is your presence. Giving you a lesson before you go back to the essence. While still living a vicarious experience. Willfully following orders with strict adherence. But realize the rhetoric, you see that as pathetic. The tool of the sorcerer's a Hegelian dialectic, but control the masses, the info that the masses see and read, and crops can be harvested from the planet seeds. This is the manifestation of fear energy. Low vibration, people stuck in a frenzy. This is literal, not metaphorical, kind of tragic. And that I have to tell you, this is really kind of tragic, yo. Because it's all about control of your mind. Break free from the spell and you'll find. Since birth, women fed lies, dumbed down, deaf and blind. Now, we could call it television or television, or maybe you prefer we named it television, because they don't call them programs for no reason. As you continue to tune in season after season, we can get them from your left brain jump and switch on the hypnosis box and watch news that is geared to the right brain. Propaganda seeping in your mind once again, whether disinfo pours into your consciousness. The words you hear are hollow, lacking any substance. They're meant to keep you stuck deep in cognitive dissonance. The zombie apocalypse is living right among us. They induce us with useless materials and knickknacks. Try to seduce this youth with views and false facts. Because in confusion with the Mandela effect, social engineering, while our rights we acquiesce, yo. Because it's all about control of your mind. Break free from the spell and you'll find. Since birth, women fed lies, yo. Dumbed down, deaf and blind. Now, all of this takes place subliminally through language, fear, and deliberate symbology. Like I said before, it's all projected through your teeth, but they're under my control, so they probably won't believe me. This engineering starts early from the womb, bonded up in slavery every day from the tomb, but to many believe and accept that which is not true. Is that you in no ability to see through the manipulation and the lies they force upon you? Sooner take away free speech, you're hearing me? And that what happened in Nazi Germany. See, next on the list was Stalinist Russia, programming the masses with the change of culture. I wonder what it's gonna take to wake up from the slumber and to break free from the chains that they got our minds under, yo. Because it's all about control of your mind. Break free from the spell and you'll find. Since birth, women fed lies, dumbed down, deaf and blind. Too many voices silent to the crimes, yo. Thank you very, 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 very much. I need a little sip of water. Anyone got any water? How you got it? So, I saw a little leaflet a while back. I think it was Joe who posted it. And on the leaflet, it had literally like a list of all the shit it's not even coming, it's here right now. And you see, the thing about it is, the COVID, it made everything a lot more obvious. But most of you guys are here, you probably knew about that bullshit from way back in the day. You know, all that's happened is now, as we move in eons of time, we're now moving into what we call the age of Aquarius. That is the sacred femininity. That is like 2020 vision, where things are becoming more clear. Before then, we were living in patriarchy, we were living in war, we were living in fear. And they're still trying to keep that paradigm on us, trying to keep us living in that energy. But what I understand is this three-dimensional earth plane, it's like a chessboard. This shit's happening cosmically. There's a spiritual war that's going on, that's getting played out here, right? But since we're now moving into the age of Aquarius, this is like an ant trying to stop a wave. You can't stop that shit. It's a matter of time. That's why they're trying to accelerate all of this stuff that they're doing to us, and that's why it's become a lot more obvious. Now, my background is in something called neuro-linguistic programming and hypnotherapy, hypnosis, as well as energy healing and a few other things. And there's only two ways that we can be fooled. It's via words and symbology, non-verbally. So when you see all of this Boris and all of these, you know, Clinton and whoever else it is, putting all this shit, they're using this subversive language and the colours to prey on our unconscious minds. When you understand how to break free of that, it's almost like literally waking up from the never-ending story. Great film if you've ever watched it. So, this post that Joey put up, and someone else put it up, it had loads of things on there, and it was about Agenda 2030. And it was literally like a list about all the different things that are going on. So this last one, it kind of talks about that. But if I fuck up the second verse, forgive me because I haven't really memorised it that well. So, bear with me. Trauma, repetition and symbols. Tools they use so we don't see what's simple. I'll tell you what the future's going to resemble: a boot on your face while your rights still dwindle. Sinful like Haman's Tau commander, eyes wide shut, still believe in the slander. But if you've fallen for the propaganda, I suggest you open your eyes and take a propaganda. Welcome to the Great Reset, where you'll own nothing. This is the plan, these bitches ain't bluffing, y'all. Big bad wolf is huffing and puffing. If you think it's bad already, then you ain't seen nothing, cause too many plastic hearts are bleeding, while many others have done stop beating. Folks forced to choose eating or eating. Will you roar like a lion or continue bleating? The weapons fit so we don't feel or heal, but it's false evidence appearing real. I say, to make your power really get to know, so we can finally overcome and bring the shit show. The weapons fit so we don't feel or heal, but it's just false evidence appearing real. I say, to make your power really get to know, so we can finally overcome and bring the shit show. Technocratic corporatocracy. Forgotten the second line. Should we start again? Oh, I'm going to have to get my phone out. Technocratic corporatocracy. Oh shit, that's not good, is it? I'll get there. There we go. Worst nightmare, isn't it? Technocratic corporatocracy with a central bank digital currency, carbon footprint surveillance system, universal basic income for compliant citizens, a ban on all natural remedies, microchips and brain interface technologies, abolishment of private property, all state control with total dependency, control of fertility and reproduction, robot workforce with AI integration, a digital web trapping every single nation, invisible prison, a whole world of plantation. Humanity trapped humanity, it's insanity, no clarity, stuck in augmented reality. It's like a family tragedy, no sense of normality. I'm searching for fields of gold like Eva Cassidy. The weapons fit so we don't feel or heal, but it's false evidence appearing real. I say, to make your power really get to know, so we can finally overcome and rid the shit show. The weapons fit so we don't feel or heal, but it's false evidence appearing real. I say, to make your power really get to know, so we can finally overcome and rid the shit show. We know what it's about. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We know what it's all about. So we can rebel rouse and we can get angry, and that's what we need. Because if you're angry, shit ain't gonna happen. If you ain't upset, if you don't feel like you've been infringed, we just go and comply ourselves straight to Guantanamo, right? Because remember, all that bullshit lockdown, you couldn't go nowhere. They shut the shops down. They shut the pubs down. They shut the clubs down. They tried to bring the world down to its ground, to its knees, yo. I'm screaming out, Mother Nature, will you come back, please? And usher in this age of Aquarius. Like I said in 2020, so you can see what's coming through clearly, so we can ride and come through this. And take the 1% out, yo, because just straight boo this, yo. Screw this, yo. Metamo, the linguistic. I'm trying to transmit this frequency, LOVE, live in one vibrational entity. It's what I've been saying, yo. The message ain't changed. Delivering the words that help you take your mind from the range, out the trenches, up the fences, so you can see the nonsenses from the senses. Because it's relentless. The torture and bullshit they got us under, yo. They got propriety. In our minds, they've been trying to instill anxiety. But it's time for sobriety, yo. So we can come together as one, as UNITY. Unity. Meta. Out. Thank you, Glasgow. One love. Oh, before we move on to the next stage, I just want to shout out to everybody, to Damon, the British Lions, the people from the back who you don't see, Angel, everyone who's part of this. And most of all, I want to say thank you to you guys, because without you guys, this doesn't happen. So let's not use this as just, that's it, and then you go, oh, let's use it as a catalyst, let's use it as a stepping stone to more, because it's all well and good to look at awakening a lot of these people, but most of them don't want to be awoken. And they're at the point where they're forced to have to do it at a rate and speed they ain't comfortable with. So really, yes, we got to try and help the masses and everybody else. All I'm going to say is, you do you, you do you, you do you, you do you. Thank you, and one love once again.
Hello everybody, David Clues from UNN. How are we all today? So we get the microphone out. Are we having a good day? Well done to all of you. You've been here from the start. That's an impressive turnout. I think it's fair to say there are quite a lot of issues right now. And they've all been covered quite eloquently by the speakers. And I was speaking to my good friend Robert, and he made a good point. What is it that people are actually doing today? Why are we here? And the point he made, and it is right, they're keeping the flame alive. We're not in the situation we were in 2020 or 2021. It's not as in your face. It isn't. There isn't the impending threat of vaccine passports. You weren't being discriminated against. But there is still a nefarious agenda. And I think the big one that we've certainly seen, and I'll just focus on this for a wee while, is climate change. Okay? And I'm just going to tell you right now, man-made climate change is a scam. Okay? It is 100% a hoax. It isn't real. Okay? We don't need to go crazy about it. We don't need to go mental. It's not real. Right? The media this week have bombarded people with lies about temperatures. Do you know what they've done? They don't take the temperature now in the air. They take the temperature from the ground. Do you know what they were taking the temperature from? Runways at airports. It's a scam. They were showing you wildfires saying Rhodes was on fire. There was one tiny wee part of Rhodes that was on fire. Temperatures getting into the 40s in Sicily, in Spain, is actually very common. It's a complete lie and a scam. And what they do, like, people should be concerned about the environment. People should be against plastic in the oceans. We should be wanting to breathe cleaner air. These are all good things. But then what they do is they wrap the rest of it up in a complete lie and say that man-made CO2 emissions are responsible for heating in the atmosphere. That's not true. It's a lie and a scam, and they roll out these experts. Well, we've got 100 experts that say different. Well, I'll tell you what, if I was getting paid hundreds of thousands of pounds a year, well, I wouldn't. But most of these people would. They'll tell you whatever you want to hear. You know, they talk about this science is settled. They said the same thing 500 years ago. The science isn't settled. Okay, things are open to interpretation and change. And I think today, with everybody that's here, it's so important we just keep going, we keep these movements growing, and everybody is kind of going their own way, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, it is what it is, but We know there is a sick plan for humanity. And it's so important we all do our thing to cancel that. I'm just going to ask you all a question. Does anybody here still pay for a TV license? Some of you said yes. Who said yes? Who said yes? I'm only joking. Well, make sure you stop it. Because the TV license is something you should not be paying. Because you're paying for absolute propaganda and absolute lies. And it is horrendous what these people are doing. But guys, listen, I'm not going to stay on for long. John's going to introduce this gentleman, and it's horrific what the vaccine did to people. And it was when people are out speaking out against vaccines so many years ago, a lot of people have been proven right. People have died, people have been injured, and you know, nobody cares about them. And what's the most they can get? 120 grand. People can't work the rest of their lives, and they're getting a measly £120,000. They can't sue the pharmaceutical companies. Horrendous. So do you know what? Keep the scepticism going, keep the battle going, keep the flame alive, and one of these days we'll win this battle. Speak to you soon. Bye-bye.
What I said earlier on in my speech, well done David, by the way, well done. What I said earlier on in my speech, everyone back in April 2021 should have heard this man's story. This man lost a leg to AstraZeneca, proven by the government, proven by the doctors, but nobody heard it. Not one person. If we all knew about that story, if we all knew about this man losing a leg to AstraZeneca, we would have all thought twice about it. Like I said, 6 months ago I went into the Parliament building to ask the Scottish Government to ask them to help people like myself and Alex. I've got myocarditis due to that vaccine, thank you very much Pfizer. 6 months ago I went into that Government building and asked them, God, will you help people like myself that have been affected by that vaccine? What did I receive? An email to say you've got a 6-month ban, John, for the government. That just goes to show you they do not care about any of us. So without further ado, I want to introduce my friend. We weren't friends before this, but we're friends now. I want to introduce Alex Mitchell, everybody.
Good afternoon everyone, thank you very much to Damien and all the freedom fighters that put this on, thank you. I wasn't expecting to speak today. I actually came along to support a couple of friends who have supported me from the very beginning. As John said, my name's Alex Mitchell and I am vaccine injured. I have a condition called vaccine-induced thrombotic thrombopenia. Excuse me, my legs get me jipped. And it's a condition that's fatal. I shouldn't be here. Now, there's a young girl who was speaking earlier, young Jasmine I think her name was. Freedom girl, lovely speaker. She said something. How many of you know someone who's been injured by the vaccine? Put your hands up, please. Now, that's about half of you. Now I'm going to tell you something. The numbers for Scotland are frightening. There's 25,000 serious adverse reactions listed in Scotland. 200 deaths. When is anybody going to talk about these people? When is anybody going to talk about people like me? I shouldn't have to stand in the streets of Glasgow or anywhere else to try and raise awareness to get help and support from my own government. Now, as an adult, I don't come up here and tell people what to do. I always finish on something. And that wee man there sitting in that chair is why I do it, why I'm talking about this. Now try to go for your children. I'll never tell you what to do as an adult, but as a children, I'll die for your child, first and foremost. Your child has no scientific medical need for these vaccines. 3 questions you need to ask every parent. Will the pharmaceutical company support my child for life should it go wrong? Will the government support my child for life should it go wrong? The answer is no. No. Why are you giving your child this danger? I can't save you, I can't save my leg, I can't save my life. My life's wrecked. Yeah, I was the first living man to receive £120,000. Sounds a lot of money, doesn't it? I'm a scaffolder. That's not even 4 years' wages for me. And I'm expected just to sit and take that. I fought for 2 years. I'm fighting to get my health back. I'm fighting to get fit. I've just went through a second operation. I didn't have to go through it. It was a very high risk, but that was my choice. Sorry, I'm shaking because my nerves are starting to go. Sorry, it's the calf muscle. Both my legs were pretty damaged. The calf muscle is absolutely wrecked, so I've only got one calf. I stand for 4 minutes, I'm in agony, the hair up. Woman in bras, me and my false leg, and my calf muscle is the same thing. Sorry, talking about children. Your child has a 99.97% chance of surviving this virus. But there's a 3% chance, yes, 3% chance of taking an adverse risk to one of these so-called vaccines. Not vaccines, they're test drugs. They're not normal vaccines, they're a new novel vaccine. They work genome therapy, and gene therapy, DNA alteration comes into all these things. People say this can't affect your DNA. And I'll tell you one thing and one thing only. Explain that. People, thank you for joining. Everybody here, there's been a lot of people saying a lot of really good things. Robert, inspiration, he's right. He's all moaning about it. I've said it for 2 years. So lots of people are talking the talk. We're well past walking the walking the walk. It's time for action. What are you going to do? I know what I'm doing. I'm standing up in street corners with one leg screaming my lungs out to try and help support and raise awareness. What are you going to do to stop this from happening to others? Thank you.
Yes, Alex, come on!
And corporate charter. Make sure you have your health passes ready to be scanned, as well as up-to-date microchips. Emperor Schwab has personally declared a public health emergency of international concern. Cases of the SARS virus are on the rise. If you are not in your designated quarantine facility, you must have valid documentation or you will be detained and risk prosecution. If you are outside of your 15-minute zone, you must return to it now. There is no escape. You are being tracked and traced with our 8G surveillance system. Surveillance drones are currently operating in this area. If you are approached by a drone, for your own safety, remain calm. Stay still and follow instruction. You may be required to scan your personal climate tracker. If you are found to have exceeded your daily carbon allowance, you will be automatically charged for your digital credits, and points will be deducted from your social credit score. Attention! This is an illegal gathering. This event is not permitted by the One World Government. You are in violation of Article 666, under the order of the United Nations 2030 Declaration and Corporate Charter. Make sure you have your health passes ready to be scanned, as well as up-to-date microchips. Emperor Schwab has personally declared a public health emergency of international concern. Cases of the SARS virus are on the rise. If you are not in your designated quarantine facility, you must have valid documentation or you will be detained and risk prosecution. If you are outside of your 15-minute zone, you must return to it now. There is no escape. You are being tracked and traced with our 8G surveillance system. Surveillance drones are currently operating in this area. If you are approached by a drone, for your own safety, remain calm. Stay still and follow instruction. You may be required to scan your personal climate tracker. If you are found to have exceeded your daily carbon allowance, you will be automatically charged for your digital credits, and points will be be deducted from your social credit score. Attention! This is an illegal gathering. This event is not permitted by the world government. You are in violation of Article 666 under the order of the United Nations 2030 Declaration and Conference Charter. Make sure you have your
Hello Glasgow, let's make some noise again. Come on, make some noise for your rights. Make some noise for freedoms. Come on. We are going to march these prisoners through Birmingham today. Do not comply, right? I just want to say, before we march, I never really realised how beautiful the sound of bagpipes are until recently. So I hope I do them and Scotland some justice today. A man once said, "No doubt that a small group of individuals can change the world, because in fact, it's all that ever has. And Scotland, we are the fastest growing family on the planet. So as we come together today, once again, we must reflect on the last 3 years, and we must start to reflect upon ourselves. It's not that the world's gone mad, it's that the world has been further grasped by unelected organisations and hyper-wealthy elites, and they wish to install social credit systems, carbon footprint surveillance systems, programmable CBDCs, and universal basic income for compliant citizens. These last few years we have had to grit and bear. Our peers, our friends and our families succumb to mass formation. And as we move forward and we witness the birthing pains of the New World Order, we start to emulate a new life for ourselves. So I think it's time to breathe life back into the movement. A life where we offer truth in our politics and transparency in our medical care. Education in our classrooms, not indoctrinations in our schools. So let's give some consideration to these past few years and how paradoxical that somehow it's been society's most vulnerable that have been targeted, and it's those that installed the fear that we need to protect. From free taxis and ice cream incentives for children to take up the vaccine, to locking away our old care homes from the prying eyes of loving family members after they administered damning bedazzling protocols and blanket do not resuscitate. To our children's innocence being stolen by the entourage of woke ideologies and institutions, installing the doubt that they can be born into the wrong body. From bank accounts now spying on our social media accounts, to all excess deaths and attacks to our personal freedom. It's high time we put people in positions of power for the people, not people in positions of power for themselves. All this, and society says that anybody that speaks up and questions a narrative should be labelled as a conspiracy theorist. The thing is, nobody is asking you to think like us. We are just asking you to think while you still can. And to the parents, as the state becomes more and more invasive, we must remember that we are authority, not the school, not the doctors, not the teachers, not the state. We are. So today, Scotland, we say to the WHO, we say to the West, and we say to the United Nations to get out of our fucking house. We the people value our freedoms more than they want to suppress them. Our time will come. But tonight, Glasgow, we need to send out a strong message of unity. And I want you all to join me in 3 words. These 3 words are in fact the kryptonite of tyranny. May these 3 words echo through the alleyways of Glasgow come Monday morning. These 3 words are the words I fear, ladies and gentlemen. These 3 words are we stand together.
Come on now. We stand together. Louder. We stand together. We stand together. Louder with chest. We stand together. Never will they take our freedom. Come on. Together. We stand together. We stand together. Let's get a march on. Let's march these criminals from Birmingham. Let's do what we got to do. Come on. Look. Well done, Scotland. Well done, Glasgow. Give yourself a big round of applause. Thank you all for coming out. Thank you all for standing in the rain. We are the future. We will not let our children down. We will play our voices to the death. Love that. We stand together. We stand together. Louder. We stand together. Let's go. We stand together. 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 We stand together! We stand together! We stand together! Come on, let's go! We stand together! 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 Thank you all, Scotland. Thank you all, Glasgow. Thank you.
Just want to say, Glasgow, the last time I was up here, we were handing some information out, and somebody passed us, a couple passed me and said, we're going to go on a march, by the way, now. I hope so, anyway. A couple passed me last time when I was at John's event, and said to me, I can't believe you're allowed to do this. I just said, do what? She said, hand out misinformation like that. I said, who told you that? The BBC? I said, the BBC tell you that, yeah? I said, there's experts on this misinformation that you talk about. These are experts like Dr. Robert Malone, who invented the mRNA technology, who's having to go on social media platforms because the likes of the BBC won't give these scientists and these experts a voice because they're owned and controlled, bought and paid for by the likes of Bill Gates, who openly supports depopulation. So, anyway, as it happens, they didn't have a clue who Dr. Robert Malone was. They got quite angry, and as they were walking off, she took the lady in the couple. She turned around and she said to me, "You English bastard!" I'll tell you what, that is just again like John and inspiration before, with the Celtic and the Glasgow Scars, which is absolutely brilliant. Well done, John. Well done, inspiration for that.
Well done, well done, well done.
This is all just divide and conquer. Left and right, black, white, men, women, gay, straight, east, west. And also football as well, We're programmed to hate on each other. So when somebody, I've had more love and support. I've had more love and support up here when we did the event last October. I said, as soon as we left, I said, we've got to come back, we've got to go back there. I just want to thank the people of Glasgow and the people of Scotland for all the love and support that you've given me. It's been absolutely overwhelming. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. So do the team. We love you.
Thank you, Glasgow.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I'll tell you this. Anyone who wants to call me an English bastard, just because I live south of a line that somebody created. Well, I'll tell you something now. Scottish might not roll through my blood, but Glasgow and Scotland definitely is in my heart. I love you very much. Yes. We'd like you to come with us. We'd like you to go on a short march with us now. Right, guys, Helen, let's play it again.
We're all in the same boat, guys. We're trying to go back to the street.
Attention! This is an illegal gathering. This event is not permitted by the One World Government. You are in violation of Article 666 under the order of the United Nations 2030 Declaration and Corporate Charter. Make sure you have your hand passes ready to be scanned, as well as up-to-date microphones. Emperor Schwab has personally declared a public health emergency of international concern. Cases of the SARS virus are on the rise. If you are not in your designated quarantine facility, you must have valid documentation or you will be detained and risk prosecution. If you are outside of your 15-minute zone, you must return to it now. There is no escape. You are being tracked and traced with our 8G surveillance system. Surveillance drones are currently operating in this area. If you are approached by a drone, for your own safety, remain calm. Stay still and follow instruction. You may be required to scan your personal climate tracker. If you are found to have exceeded your daily carbon allowance, you will be automatically charged for your digital credits, and points will be deducted from your social credit score. Attention! This is an illegal gathering. This event is not permitted by the One World Government. You are in violation of Article 666, under the order of the United Nations 2030 Declaration and Corporate Charter. Make sure you have your health passes ready to be scanned, as well as up-to-date microchips. Emperor Schwab has personally declared a public health emergency of international concern. Cases of the SARS virus are on the rise. If you are not in your designated quarantine facility, you must have valid documentation or you will be detained and risk prosecution. If you are outside of your 15-minute zone, you must return to it now. There is no escape. You are being tracked and traced with our 8G surveillance system. Surveillance drones are currently operating in this area. If you are approached by a drone, for your own safety, remain calm. Stay still and follow instruction. You may be required to scan your personal climate tracker. If you are found to have exceeded your daily carbon allowance, you will be automatically charged for your digital credits, and points will be deducted from your social credit score. Attention! This is an illegal gathering. This event is not permitted by the One World Government. You are in violation of Article 666, under the order of the United Nations 2030 Declaration and Corporate Charter. Make sure you have your health passes ready to be scanned, as well as up-to-date microchips. Emperor Schwab has personally declared a public health emergency of international concern. Cases of the SARS virus are on the rise. If you
I caught from London last night and then I got been bus at like 9 hours on the bus, mate. This I've never been to Glasgow. There's some good people, there's always occasionally meet a lot of people online that you don't often see
This is not going anywhere with the ULEZ and all this nonsense, cameras, infrastructure.
We need to take the whole shit show down, don't we? With 5G, with ULEZ, a fucking lot of them, mate. We stop with fucking chemtrails and everything, mate.
Can you tell people on live stream your channel name, please? I don't remember.
So, Box Clever Army on Telegram, Instagram, and TikTok. Box Clever Army. I'm Big Si. I'm the one that does a lot of videos confronting MPs and police officers, so you might recognise my voice and behind the camera in a lot of videos. And I've been down at Downing Street for 3 months. It started off with me, a chair and a speaker and a bag, and now we've got like a stage set up, we've got a PA system, a generator, a couch, all sorts. You can check out Box Clever Army. You'll see videos there. We're trying to get as many people as possible down to Westminster as soon as possible, really. So first time out of London in 3 months from Manchester. I've been to Scotland for the first time in 20 odd years, first ever time in Glasgow today. And I'm going to spend a few days in Wales, when I go back to London next weekend. And if anyone wants to join me, I'll be at Wembley for a community shield. And I've been saying for a long time and people need to go for a football stadium. So if we're ever going to do it, I believe the community shield at Wembley, which will be a friendly atmosphere, is a perfect opportunity. And I'm calling out for a general strike. I've not had one in 97 years, so general strike, just turn up in Westminster when you're ready. You know what I mean? Been there 3 months, mate. I've set the foundations there, you know what I mean? So if anyone's give up, if everyone's fed up, just go and get a chair and a sleeping bag, go and give up at fucking the gates of Downing Street, you know what I mean? There's a lot of people that have done that. But that channel again, Box Clever Army, BCA.
That's Box Clever Army.
Yeah. I do podcasts as well, so on a Telegram channel, type in BCA Podcasts, you'll see a list of podcasts that I do with MMA fighter, with a boxer, and then I've got another channel, The People's Poet. I write a lot of poetry, The People's Poet, a lot of poetry on there for people, yeah. Nice to see, I'll give you one of them, those on there, nice one, yeah. You walking down the march?
Yes. Just wanted to say hi.
How you doing, mate? Nice to meet you.
I will reach out to you if you don't mind. I can do podcast with you, tell your story.
Just give a message, mate. Just give a message, see the crack. So are you on Twitter?
Yeah.
Do you know me on Twitter?
Sorry?
Do you know me on Twitter?
Twitter, yeah.
Yeah, just message.
I got your friends in Facebook.
Okay.
I'll drop you a message, that's my name. Radek.
Sorry, mate. Sorry. No bother at all, mate. You get phoned anyway.
Yes.
So,
You see? Thank you. Hi, man.
How you doing, man? You alright, yeah?
Yes.
I'm not. You don't want me, man.
Yes. You're most important.
All of them live? Yeah. All of these are live?
Yes, I got 2 live streams and 1 video.
Okay.
Live stream is dropping, yeah, so this is just
Let's go catch you back.
4K video and YouTube and Facebook.
Oh, very good. Very good. I've seen your stuff. Very good.
Yeah. We're in the same world.
100%.
What's your name, brother?
I'll come up with Ricky Smith.
My name is Radek.
Radek.
Like Radical.
Ah, yeah. Amazing. The thank you. I've seen you at like many other functions.
This is my first time on a protest in Scotland.
Same.
I've been all over UK, also abroad, but
Manchester,
this is
brother.
not.
That was performing. Yeah, so when I'm on Facebook, I come up with the Richie Smith account, so Richie Smith back. And I just post videos, make videos.
I will reach out to you later on. With this farcical court case of rulers, they will not change their mind. They will install all this infrastructure. If people don't wake up, then
I think, it's weird because it seems like people are waking up. But on the other side of it all, I think that if they were to just do something again, they'll just jump straight back.
this is like it's disbelief. People they don't understand what's coming. The same like I was always wondering, people who are entering those cattle trains going to concentration camps. I would rather get a bullet in my head. I would go fight bearhounds. I would get shot or whatever, but I wouldn't enter the cattle train. But you see people, if they got like glimpse of hope, they just think, oh, maybe nothing will happen.
It's always that thought
of
maybe nothing will happen, and then it's too late when it does. It's true. I think that's been a big thing for a lot of people. Is not. Like I was speaking to someone who was actually saying that why would the government do that to their own people? Why would they mess up their own economy? Why would they mess up their own money?
It's just one common denominator, power. That's what it is, because they print money, they don't need anything else, so they will control all the resources. We will be just slaves to them. So simple, it's a very simple equation.
We see it. I do hope for others to see it though, definitely. Because
people are carrying on with their businesses thinking they will be able to hold something. No, they will be stripped from everyone.
100%. The way things are going right now, it looks like everything is normal, but there's a moment where it's coming where, because they're doing everything from different planes right now, they'll shut the door. And when it does, you won't even know what happens. It's like all of a sudden.
Yeah, once digital ID and CBDCs are in with that infrastructure, we're done.
It's over. We're not shut over there. It doesn't matter how we think that we're free right now. I can see that they're setting things up and they're doing it all the way around us. Like for instance, the electric cars. But then one of the things that I just found out recently is that they're able to go and they need, like for instance, a large electronic device to be able to go and put like EMP devices into certain areas. So they use cars, things like that. So that when the time comes, they can go and send out a massive pulse and just shut down everything that is around them using electric vehicles.
I didn't know that. But it's limited rights and with all this stuff we're talking, people are under illusion that this will go away. This won't go away because
when you're in front of the camera.
Oh, fuck.
Hello, I didn't realise you were filming. I didn't realise you were filming for a while, and then I realised because there's so much going on. How are you? You okay? You well? Yeah. Sue sometimes mentions you when she talks to me. Yeah.
I couldn't come yesterday,
yeah. Jimmy Asia's getting here yesterday. Oh, it was a nightmare. But, yeah, it's a long day, and Jamon's doing a lot here, isn't he?
amazing.
Yeah. Lots of theatrics. Yeah.
That's what we're looking to do.
Yeah. So, is he going to be making a move? Or is he in his prison guard mode now? Anyway, I'll catch up with you in a bit. Are you joining us later, or are you going?
I'm stopping overnight, yeah, we can catch up.
I think we're going for a drink after, so you want to join us, even extra cup of coffee or something. Because I can't drink, I've got to drive. So come along, won't you?
Yes.
Yeah.